is Keith Shanklin. My name is Keith Shanklin. Can we cut the music? Where's Rob? Hey, Rob. Thank you. My name is Keith Shanklin, and we're here not only to end systemic racism, but police terror and no privatization of our docks here in Oakland. And we also here on our Bloody Thursday. And at the end of the day, before we leave here, Mr. Clarence Thomas is going to come up and give you some political and historical facts about Bloody Thursday. I want to say thank you to all those who came out. I want to say thank you to all those who are looking on Zoom and those who are listening on the radio. We appreciate it. Not only do we work in your community, we are in the community. And we are a part of the community. And I'll let you know that we're going to support the community in all forms and fashion, even if it is just civil disobedience. Please be careful. No destroying of public property. We're going to have a peaceful demonstration. But most of all, we're going to celebrate our Bloody Thursday. And hello, oh, sorry about that. Bloody Thursday.
I got a wired mic. Sorry. Test. There you go. The wireless cut out.
Okay.
There's a switch on the front.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we won't have no interruptions. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, we are going to have a very beautiful rally. And I hope that you guys understand that even though we don't have the numbers that we had 2 weeks ago, it only takes one to raise hell. Okay? And I'm here. And I'm going to be that hell raiser. All right? Look for me because I'm going to be out there raising some hell. Anyway, getting back to what we came here for. If we have anybody who I called your name, please come to the stage so you can go ahead and say what you got to say about what's going on today. And we understand that some of us are going to be doing it by Zoom, and some of us are going to phone it in over the phone. Okay? So, and if you want to listen to it in your cars, tune to 88.3 on your FM dial. Rob has did a fantastic job of getting the sound together. So please go to 88.3 on your FM dial. While we're on our way out to the Coliseum, you can listen to the podcast. All right. Now everybody know me, Keith Shanklin from Local 34, president. But everybody really knows this cat. He's a hellraiser, barn burner, shit disturber. A main pain in the vein of the employer. They hate to see him coming, but they love to see him going away. Because guess what? He got what he came for. So I'm going to pass the mic over to my compadre and my brother in arms, Mr. Trent Buster Willis.
What's up, brothers and sisters? Once again, my brother Keith Shanklin give me an introduction that I probably don't deserve. But I want to welcome all of my brothers and sisters from the ILWU Local 10, 34, and 9175. Welcome, brothers and sisters. We also want to recognize our international secretary and Local 10 member, Brother Ed Ferris, out there. All right, we want to welcome everyone from the community, as well as our old timers, our retirees, Brother Clarence Thomas. We want to recognize all of the brothers and sisters that are on the committee to stop police terror and end systemic racism. We want to recognize that committee. The reason I want to recognize that committee is because you all, if you weren't out here for the Juneteenth rally, then you missed a terrific event. Okay, we had over 20,000 people out here to celebrate Juneteenth. Okay. And because of that committee's hard work and the members on that committee, we were able to pull that off in 2 weeks. So that was amazing. I just wanted to recognize that committee today. Also, Local 10 brothers and sisters out here. We want to thank you guys for coming out too. We know that this is a holiday weekend, and you guys know what we do on holiday weekends. But we out here for a very important reason, brothers and sisters, because there's an aura going around this country right now. There's some things happening that we have to use our labor to stop. Some of these things are hitting home. These things are hitting home. All of this is related. This is why we are having a discussion about these issues on Bloody Thursday. Because if you look back, and I'm not going to go too deep into Bloody Thursday, because I want my brother Clarence Thomas to have an opportunity to run down some of the history to you.
Say what you got to say, Trent.
All right. But in 1934, our brothers and sisters back then paved the way for us to have these jobs and enjoy these conditions and benefits that we enjoy today. We had brothers and sisters up and down this coast that died so that we can have the right to even stand on this stage and have this function that we're having today. That is there's always a threat to that. Fast forward to today. Right here at this terminal, okay, we've had more than 2 incidents of racial graffiti drawn on the walls. We've had nooses hung. This is in 2020. Over at the Trapac terminal, we've had swastikas drawn on the walls. We've had graffiti in the bathrooms. Over at 37, we've had the same thing. So I'm saying that to say this, brothers and sisters, the fight is never over. This is a continuous battle. We have to get our members in Local 10 and up and down this coast to understand that this battle never ends. This is a continuous battle. This is an ongoing struggle. Okay? The steps that our brothers and sisters in 1934 and since then have made, we have to honor that. We have to honor that. Because if it wasn't for the sacrifice of those brothers and sisters in our past, our ancestors, we would not be here. This would not be an option for us. We would not be enjoying these conditions and these benefits. In particular, my black and brown brothers and sisters.
That's right.
We would absolutely not be out here. Okay? You heard that saying, the first fired, the last hired, or I might have said it backwards, last hired, first fired. That still pertains today. When you're a member of the ILWU, you're fortunate enough to have a platform, a very powerful platform. As you can see by the brothers and sisters here on stage with me, and you look around and you see the brothers and sisters who are out here to support you and to support when you put the call out, that's power. On June 19th, when we were out here protesting and we had our caravan in march to Oscar Grant Plaza, that was power. That's absolute power. We have to start realizing and recognizing who we are as a union. We are a great, strong union. And it's up to the individuals here, in particular, our younger members, our newer members who are coming into the union now, members who are getting ready to get their A books. I see some members out there, you're getting ready to get promoted. Okay? We need to definitely preserve and secure not only our union, but we need to continue to fight for the social justice and rights of working people all over the world.
That's right, Trent.
This is what made us great. I'm so proud to be a member of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. I'm even prouder to be the president of the ILWU Local 10, especially Local 10, which is the beginning and the end. Realize who you are, okay? So my brothers and sisters out here, for the future, moving forward, we have to each one teach one. We have to stay focused. We have to make sure that when it's time to put it down on these employers, because they are not our friends. If it was up to these employers, thank you. If it was up to these employers, we would be getting called the N-word on the job by the bosses. Okay? If it was up to the employers, we would be out here every day, gathered like we are today. But the only thing, instead of having a caravan, we would be out here waiting for a job. Okay? The shape up is right. You would have a boss out here picking and choosing who works and who doesn't work. Okay? That's not far away from happening right now if we don't pay attention and stop it from happening. That's called systemic oppression. Systemic racism is a part of systemic oppression. In 1934, our brothers and sisters fought hard and got hurt to stop systemic oppression. We cannot allow these employers to bring back systemic oppression amongst us. We cannot allow these employers to divide us. We cannot allow these employers to treat us like slaves. And while we're not allowing them to treat us like slaves, we have to not allow employers all across this world to treat any workers like slaves. So in wrapping this up, brothers and sisters, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here. I want to send solidarity to our brothers and sisters up and down the coast here on Bloody Thursday. And I want to have a moment of silence. Not just for we had 6 brothers who died in 1934 standing up for the right to organize and have a union in Hiring Hall. We've also had brothers and sisters over the years that have gotten killed on the job. We want to recognize them. Most recently, we had Brother Jarvis, who was unfortunately killed at this terminal. And we had Sister Rashida, who was killed on this street right here. And we've had countless brothers and sisters who we've gone to funerals that have died on this very dangerous job. We were the first union to have an organized safety code because we fought for that. We have to honor that. We have to honor the brothers and sisters who paved the way for us. So please remember that. So at this point, let's have a moment of silence for our departed brothers and sisters. All right, brothers and sisters, long live the ILWU and long live the struggle.
Thank you, Brother Trent Willis. That's why I never like to follow behind him. Guy kills it. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Okay, at this time, we're going to move forward with our program. We have a nurse here who who simply posted something on her Facebook page. But I'm not going to tell her story. I'll let her tell her story. Her name is, did you want to start? Mercy Matua from the Nurses Union.
California Nurses Association.
California Nurses Association.
Good morning, Oakland. My name is Mercy Mutua. I am from Nairobi, Kenya, born and raised in Kenya. I came to the U.S. when I was 17. I have lived in America longer than I have in Kenya. And I have traveled around America, but I'm proud to call Oakland home because it reminds me of Nairobi. The diversity in Nairobi is very similar to the diversity in Oakland, California. The nature in Kenya is very similar to the nature in Oakland. The food in Kenya is very similar to the food in Oakland. So how can I not call Oakland home? I call Oakland home, but I also know that I'm privileged to have grown in a country that is not rooted in racism. I have learned how to be a black woman in America, and with that, I am completely humbled by the stories of a lot of black people around. I come to Oakland knowing my privilege, knowing that I'm a visitor of this beautiful, beautiful city and community. And for that, I say that I will stand with Oakland, I will stand with the community, and I will stand to fight systemic racism because it has no place in this beautiful community. We as nurses have fought racism in our hospital just recently when a nurse, one of our own, said, "Fuck Black Lives Matter." And when she said that, because I call America home now, she said, "Fuck my nephew," right? It took away Mercy, the Kenyan, and reminded me of Mercy, the American, who has to fight for her little nephew, right? And reading about Bloody Thursday and seeing how this group of human beings came together and said that we have to fight systemic racism, we have to fight injustices, every man has to be equal, right? That is what one of the leaders, Harry Bridges, a man that now I admire, that said that equality has to be part of the foundation of ILWU. He was committed to making sure that at the end of the day, if there were two men left, he was assured the community that one of them was going to be a black man. He assured the community that everybody's lives mattered. Yes, but everybody's lives had to matter if the black lives that were being suppressed, that were being killed in our streets, that were being stepped on in our streets mattered as much as that. And that is why we are all here. That is why our ancestors said that today, on Bloody Thursday, Mercy Mutua from Kenya is going to be standing with a bunch of people from Oakland, right? Because that unites us, right? That unites us. And because of that, I want to say that as nurses of Summit Hospital of Oakland, California, we will advocate for our patients, our community. We are fighting COVID, and we see what COVID has done to the black and brown people, and it is because of systemic racism. We are seeing what COVID is doing across in Marine at St. Quentin, and we know why that is happening. But nurses are here to fight. We are going to fight the pandemic of COVID, and more than that, we're going to fight fight this pandemic called racism. Thank you for honoring me with your time. God bless all of you and continue to fight.
Thank you, thank you. That's what we need. Not only does she help fix the COVID, she's trying to help fix the COVID. The real problem is racism. All right, I'm gonna introduce somebody who's not real popular around here because he spoke his mind out at Tesla. And you know that Tesla is supposed to be one of the premier places to work. Everybody's so happy to work at Tesla. They give us free food, they give us this and that, you know. Free cereal. Oh, free cereal. And it's supposed to be so happy, a happy place to work there. But little do you know, when you get inside the plant, the part that they don't show you on TV is a whole different picture. So, what I'm gonna bring to the stage is Mr. Carlos Gabriel, one of the Tesla workers, who's going to tell you his story.
When workers are under attack, what do we do? When our people are under attack, what do we do? When our community are under attack, what do we do? Today we celebrate victory and remember our lost ones during Bloody Thursday 1934. Today we also continue to demand protections and freedom in every corner of the world and from the class of the capitalist elites and oligarchs. We demand freedom from racism, freedom of speech, freedom from oppression and repression and systemic racism, freedom from police killings in the streets and in our homes, at the park, at the local fast food restaurant, and outside of the corner bodega. We demand freedom from disease. We demand life for our people of color, and we demand it now. I stand here today to cry out that the lives of people and workers of color are in great danger, and they have been for a very long time in this country. However, these times have shown to be a much greater threat to our people. COVID-19 has exposed medical racism and discrimination like never before. It has exposed a housing problem that puts colored people in the streets, and it has exposed a broken healthcare system. While it has forced us to cover our faces, it has also unmasked the reality of a fragile government infrastructure and an economic system that favors profits over lives, the rich over the poor and working class, and greed over science and truth. As I speak, we have more than 40 million workers unemployed and many struggling to survive. As I speak, those that remain with a job are in high risk of contracting a highly infectious virus and bringing it back to our homes or to their homes, their families, and their community. The majority of these workers who are workers of color, immigrants, and API folks. And we're tasked with the essential jobs we need to survive. It is no secret this virus is hitting much harder in communities of color like Oakland. And it's no secret that workers of color are risking their lives for mediocre pay without proper PPE and sanitation of workplaces. From the factories in Silicon Valley to the fields in the Central Valley, workers are being kept in the dark about coronavirus outbreaks at their workplaces. Such is the case at Tesla, where I work. I was actually let go at Tesla, officially, not officially, the second week of June for speaking out. I was accused of abandoning my position for refusing to return to work over COVID-19 concerns. It was done so the day after I spoke out regarding recent COVID-19 outbreaks at the Tesla Fremont factory. I have refused to return to work for a factory whose leader, Elon Musk, has minimized the effects of the pandemic for the sake of his wallet, has called workers like myself dumb for worrying about a deadly virus, and called health officials racist for now allowing fascists rather, for now allowing him to lead his employees to their deaths. And would rather break the law and place thousands in danger than uphold safe labor practices that would preserve life. Elon Musk and Tesla continue to keep workers in the dark about COVID-19 at the factory. It is rumored there are at least 30 cases at the factory, at the Fremont factory and counting. I refuse to return to a factory that has a history of discrimination towards workers of color and continues to put our bodies in danger, forcing us into a 15,000 worker filled building in the middle of a pandemic. We need Governor Newsom to do his job and protect workers. We need Cal OSHA to do its job of inspecting workplaces in the field and hold employers accountable. We need county officials, health officials like Erica Pan, to do what we pay them to do, and that's keep us safe as workers and as citizens here. But most importantly, what we need right now, we need an uprising of workers to lead the way of change in this country. I'll say it again. We need an uprising of workers to lead the way of change in this country, as it was done in Bloody Thursday in 1934. It is no longer the time to remain idle and wait for heroes. If you take something from today or something away from today, let it be that we are the heroes we've been waiting for. Again, my name is Carlos Gabriel, and I'm with the Workers Against COVID-19, also an organizer for the NorCal Dandelion Collective, part of the Committee Against Police Terror, to End Police Terror and Racism, and a Tesla employee. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello.
All right. Well, is he?
Hi. Yes. Hi. Hello, everybody. Sorry to be later, but I'm quarantined, right?
All right, brothers and sisters. We're going to introduce Sister Brenda Barrows from the SEIU 1020. Is it 1021? San Francisco General Hospital. Give her a round of applause. She's going to be coming to you by Zoom or Skype.
Hello. Hi. This is Brenda. Hello, everybody. I really wanted to be there, but I'm in quarantine right now, so I'm in a hotel room, and right now I'm sitting in a park talking to you, so excuse any noise in the background. But I just wanted to talk to you guys in support of everything that's going down, the horrendous things that have been happening in the Black community. And, you know, as Steve knows, one of my focuses is the horrendous things that are happening to Black workers in the actual workplace, and the things we've had to tolerate all those times. And now we're starting to speak up, and we just have to just keep fighting, because this is going to be a long battle. This is not something that's going to get resolved overnight. I'm so glad to see all these people out here, but, you know, I just want to say to all the people that are supporting us, that are out there, that are supporting Black Lives Matter, that are supporting the Black issues, that, you know, we hope you take that same vigor and energy into your workplace when you go back to work, because we definitely need your help in the workplace also. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Thank you for all you guys are doing. Thanks for the effort of everybody stepping up, being out there. I really appreciate those of you who can be out there. But, you know, let's keep up the fight.
All right. Thank you, sister. All right. Thank you.
Live on the line.
We got anybody else? That was it? Yeah. All right. So brothers and sisters, before we get to the next speaker, we got one more from on Zoom. Oh.
What's your name? Vanessa. Come on up, Vanessa. Yeah, you're right. Vanessa Baker.
Here, space. Vanessa Baker.
What's up, Oakland? I'm gonna take this off. I want to start by saying I'm honored. Oh God, ooh, closer. Is that good? All right. I want to start off by saying that I'm very honored to be here with all of you Oakland workers. Oakland is the only place that I've really worked, and workers are what make work fun, because fuck work otherwise. Let me get back to what the speech says, though. So I'm honored to be here as we continue to show up and defend each other, particularly. And it's one of the many reasons that I'm compelled to stay close to Oakland. Our purpose today is multifold, but ultimately we're directing it towards the same issues. We're commemorating July 5th in 1934, those dead and wounded practicing their right to ask for better and fight for it. One of the coolest things I learned about that one, because I didn't know anything 2 days ago, was one of the guys that was killed was an unemployed cook that was in a cook's union and helping out his brothers in the ILWU. And that's the kind of solidarity that we're talking about. All right. So we're also here admonishing the use of racist symbols in this workplace. What the fuck is that about? We're not gonna have it, and I love to see all these people saying that we're not gonna have it. And we're gonna go later and we're gonna contest the privatization, gentrification, and nope, just those two things, of the public spaces in favor of wealth hoarding. So I'm also here because I've been organizing with tenants recently against their landlords. The pandemic and the economic fallout from shelter-in-place orders have made this task ever so necessary. And thank you to my comrades out here who've offered me this spot to talk to you guys today. And I'm really proud to be speaking to you as a member of TANK. I guess I should say I'm a member of TANK, Tenant and Neighborhood Councils. Because not only fuck your boss, but fuck your landlord too. So I'm learning so much by organizing with these people. I've never organized before. I've always known that there's some spot for me in here, and finding it with the tenants union is just one step in finding it in the world and with the workers. I'm learning about what our rights are as renters in general, and during this moratorium that we've got going for us in Oakland, the most powerful in the country. We're not surprised. I'm learning about the power and the agency of tenants and what we're doing here. Tenants showing up for each other in all of our common struggles. We're here as laborers. We're here as resistors of racism. We're here as working class people that pay rent and taxes. We're here as community that values its people and will continue to show up and fight for each other. And again, I'm gonna admit, I didn't know about the ILWU yesterday. Yeah, thank you. And I know now, and that's the point, and that's what I've been learning with organizing with people, with community, is that we don't always know. But then we learn, and we learn together, and it's great. So I don't feel like, I said, are you sure you wanted me to speak on behalf of TANK? And they said yes. Cause yeah, I'm open to learning and not knowing yet and finding out alongside all of you. And I bought my books from the Haymarket Book Press when they had their May Day sale. I got 3 books for the price of 1. I've got Angela Davis on my coffee table. I've got Kianga Yamada Taylor on my coffee table. And I'm learning because that's what it's about here. So this is all important to me because as we learn together and we take action, that progress is not linear, and that's okay too. We just got to keep learning and building and get ourselves free of oppression, exploitation, and injustice. Even if it feels like they just hung nooses up in Oakland this month. It's important to me because I've learned about organizing tenants against landlords, and that sometimes it's our first time, that we'll make mistakes as we go along as we're organizing to support each other. But we're gonna keep checking in with each other, we're gonna keep educating each other, and the beauty of it being, oh God. And I started leaning at this point, so maybe if I stand up, then I'll get it back. Thank you. There's the point. Found it. You ready for it? All right. So I rambled a little bit in there and I lost my spot. But the beauty of all of this learning, this educating, this standing next to each other, showing up for each other, is that it's for each other, for these people, for our neighbors, for our comrades. And this is the source, this is the direction of our growth, of our care and our service. And we know our values are our people and never profit. And we're gonna grow together. Let's see, what else are we gonna do? In the security that we are strong and we are abundant, and we will not believe the lies of scarcity or the false competition that they try to put upon us, because we're in this together. If it benefits my health, my well-being, my security, my education, it benefits ours. You know what else I learned yesterday? That the ILWU is the one that said that, what's it called? An injury to one? What? That was you guys. So it's many struggles that we're juggling here, and I guess that as a member of TANK, I also want to talk to you about some of what's going on with the housing crisis in this climate. Well, it sucks. The housing situation is sucking, and it's been sucking. Just like the bosses, we have slumlords taking advantage of tenants. They think that it's okay for us to pay upwards of 50-60% of our paychecks, when the boss that gave us that money is your landlord's friend? And a lot of people justify this. I was talking to Steve on the phone about somehow they try and make it sound logical that we pay into all of these systems just so that we can have a house and food and education. But it's not. Most of the unhoused, I'm gonna lean back down again. Thank you. Most of the unhoused here are black and brown. This is what we mean by systemic racism. This is what we mean by racial capitalism. Meanwhile, the landlords are enriching themselves. The developers, they're fine. They're probably on a yacht. They're in, I don't know, they're eating something tasty. As I see it, the landlord-tenant relationship is just another form of capitalist domination, except outside of the work site. And so we all need a union. We need one at our workplace, and we need one in our home. And our power is together. If we remain separate and individualized, we will continue to be exploited and dominated. We need power, and I know you have power because you're working people. Yeah, and your struggle is my struggle. All the struggles are the same. Just health and solidarity to all of you, and thanks for dealing with my pauses in speech. I love you, Oakland.
All right, right on, Sister Vanessa. Give her another round of applause, you guys. Yeah, she made some very important points. she said that she started learning about the ILWU yesterday, right? That's not too late. Okay, because as you all know, especially my brothers and sisters out there, the members of the ILWU, we still need to teach some of our members what she learned yesterday. So let's continue to do that. Let's continue to realize how all of these issues are connected. Back in 1934, the brothers and sisters of the ILWU understood the effects of systemic racism. This is why, when this union was being organized, Brother Harry Bridges and Brother Henry Smith came over to this side of the bay, and they went to the black churches, and they talked to the black workers over on this side of the bay, and they offered them membership into the ILWU. Okay, because the one thing that the employers, the bosses, the landlords, and all of the 1% understand is that it is very difficult to defeat us when we're fighting for our struggle and our rights if we are all together. Okay? Now, if Brother Harry Bridges and Henry Smith and the folks that organized our union hadn't come over to this side of the bay and recruited black and brown members, we would not be here today. Okay? That would have just been the division that the employers needed to bust us up. The employers wanted to use the black worker to cross the picket line. And our ancestors understood that and understood how important it was for us to all be in the same union. Okay? And it's not just ILWU members that need to be in the same union. It's workers, period, that need to be in the same union. All right. Now be proud of yourselves, even though this demonstration is not as big as the one 2 weeks ago. I'm going to tell you what, though. You know what's going to spawn from this? And you guys remember I said this. And 10 years, 15 years from now, I want credit for this. This is going to spark a Labor Party. We're going to have another party. You know how you have the Democrats and the Republicans, right? Okay, so neither one of them seem to be doing much for us, right? When it comes to fighting for our rights on the job, when it comes to fighting for our rights as tenants, when it comes to fighting for our rights as home buyers, okay? When it comes to fighting for our rights just coming out of the house, jogging down the street, okay? When it comes to our rights as far as going in the store and getting accused of trying to pass a phony $20 bill. Does that mean we supposed to get choked to death? Right? So the ILWU understood these dynamics in the 1930s. This is why it's important that every ILWU member in particular knows and understands the history of our union. Our union is much more important. Right. Our union is much more important than just protecting our jobs out here. We are actually the vanguard of the workers' movement here in this country and around the world. And we need to realize who we are. Oh, Steve, what's his last name? Unger. Okay, you guys, we got a speaker that's coming to us by Zoom. Brother Steve Unger. He's for the coal out of Oakland. Now, brothers and sisters, ILWU members, we fought to keep coal out of here. Now, remember this. We fought to keep coal out of this port because it's a health hazard not only to you as working people, but it's a health hazard to that community out there. Okay? We don't just look out for our own backs. We also looking out for the community that struck with us in 1934, that made it possible for us to have a union. The community struck with us. There was a general strike. So it wasn't just the longshoremen on strike. It was this entire community on strike. Oakland, San Francisco, the entire Bay Area. So we have to join forces. We have to join forces with the folks that are fighting for the same issues we're fighting for. No coal in Oakland. All right, Brother Steve.
Greetings, everybody. Hello, fellow workers. My name is Steve Ott. I have been a proud member of ILWU, as ILWU, in the 20 years. And one thing I've observed is that the ILWU has a proud tradition of standing up for the community. Whether it's our fellow dock workers and other unions like the Liverpool dockers who were sacked in the 90s, victims of racist miscarriages of justice like Mumia Abu-Jamal, against imperialist wars for oil and profit like George W. Bush's invasion of Iraq, or the victims of police murders like Oscar Grant and George Floyd, and against the gentrifying land grab by the owner of the Oakland A's who are trying to build a baseball stadium and luxury condos at the Howard Street Terminal. The ILWU also fights against the destruction of our environment and climate. The ILWU opposed the Orchem plant in Vallejo and joined the March for Climate, Jobs, Justice, and Peace in 2018. And the ILWU has taken a stand against coal exports through the Port of Oakland. Currently, a greedy capitalist developer, Phil Tagami, is trying to build a bulk exports terminal in the Port of Oakland. This terminal will ship a variety of bulk commodities for export to Asia and elsewhere. This developer lied to the city of Oakland and neglected to inform them and the people of Oakland that one of those commodities would be coal. Coal is not only destructive to our climate, but coal does negatively impact the health of our members and the residents in the community where the coal trains will traverse, including West Oakland, where many of our members live. That is why 4 ILWU locals, STIX, 10, 34, and the IBU, joined in with 21 unions opposing the exports of coal through Tagami's bulk exports terminal. The ILWU is not only a strong, proud, organized union, it is also a smart union. It is smart enough to see through the boss's lies, including the all too often repeated lie of jobs versus the environment. The ILWU knows that the No Coal in Oakland campaign, composed of workers, community members, and environmentalists, does not oppose the terminal itself, just the export of the dirty commodities like coal. Tagami and his rich friends, including some shady coal mining interests in Utah, tried to tell the jobs versus the environment lie, and nobody fell for it. Brother Derek Muhammad stood before the city of Oakland and said the ILWU will not load that coal. The city of Oakland then voted unanimously to oppose coal exports to Tagami's terminal. But Tagami and his friends are stubborn and greedy. They have decided to sue the city of Oakland for breach of contract, but that contract said nothing about coal. The No Coal in Oakland and the ILWU are not going to back down. Our union does not back down in the face of a fight with the bosses. The ILWU will continue to fight against Tagami's dirty coal and will continue to fight with the community for a clean environment and a healthy climate. An injury to one, whether it's a worker, community, a species, or a planet, is an injury to all. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Eric is now ready.
All right. Thank you, Brother Steve.
He's ready.
Oh, he's ready? That's his last name.
Slater.
Eric Slater?
Eric Slater. Bus driver, ATU 241 in Chicago.
All right, brothers and sisters, we have another speaker coming by Zoom, Brother Eric Slater from ATU 241 in Chicago. Brother, all the way from Chicago, calling to support us. Give him a round of applause, y'all.
Yes, I can. Do you want me to speak now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're on.
Okay. Okay, my name is Eric Slater. I'm a CTA, or Chicago Transit Authority bus operator of 14 years over here in Chicago. I wanted to reach out to my brothers and sisters in the Longshoremen's Union on your day of celebration of general strike. I want to also congratulate you for taking industrial action on Juneteenth. and showing the way forward for the entire working class in the United States and internationally, for taking mass action with our labor or withholding our labor for political movements, for social justice movements. In this case, as you have a long-standing history of doing, in this case, of fighting against police violence, state violence, and in this case, the murder of yet another black man. Just briefly, I want to let people know, I've been asked to speak about what transit workers are doing. In Minneapolis, when the first protest erupted, there was at least several rank-and-file bus drivers or bus operators who refused to transport people who are arrested, who were protesting the murder of George Floyd, and also the police themselves who were being transported by public transportation to confront those protesters. And so several of those workers refused it very publicly, and our local union, Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1005, backed them up in writing, publicly. And then even better than that, our international union, the Amalgamated Transit Union International, both in Canada and the United States, with 200,000 families, backed up the local union and made it clear that workers had the right to refuse, just like we have the right to refuse dangerous working conditions in the coronavirus, we have the right to refuse dangerous working conditions for driving police and people who are arrested by the police when they're unjustly targeted because they're using their democratic rights to protest against state violence. Now, I am a shop steward for over 6 years for my coworkers at one of the bus barns or bus garages in the north side of Chicago, about 600 bus driver families. And I've been elected and reelected for 3 terms. A few weeks ago, I was reading that statement that I was just telling you about to my coworkers in a formal union meeting that we have on property. And I was asking the question, do workers feel this is safe to transport these police? And people were already discussing this. We were formally discussing it as a union. Management disrupted that meeting, threatened to call the police and did call the police, threatened to fire me and is moving to fire me this Tuesday, July 7th, from my job of 14 years. For doing what? For exercising our First Amendment right to freedom of speech, to exercising our labor rights and our contractual rights to have a union. And we're, all, of course, very fortunate to have a union with only 1 in 10 workers in the United States to have one. And they're following through with it. As horrible and unjust as it is, we have filed a federal lawsuit in the courts, and it's being processed now. We have workers who've testified on behalf of our side against the Chicago Transit Authority, against the city of Chicago, in breaking our constitutional and labor rights. And we're in a fight right now. So if anyone wants to participate in this, we have a Facebook group. You can look up my campaign, and I think organizers, hopefully, I hear even you guys are thinking about having a resolution for maybe some of your locals. People from all over the world have come out for this campaign in short notice. We have from Mexico, from Liverpool, England, from Brazil, from the West Coast, the teachers union over there near you guys have supported us. So if you guys are willing, we could appreciate the solidarity and support from social justice fighters over here in Chicago, from over in California. So thank you for letting me speak. Okay, can I get off the phone now, or do you need me to stay on?
Give us that website again.
Okay. So right now we're on Facebook. We have a link that I can send the organizers. But if you look up my name, EREK SLATER, you got to spell my name wrong, EREK, Eric Slater, and you look me up on Facebook, you'll see all the, we have an international campaign website that's linked there. And we have a GoFundMe page. We have a page that's for solidarity messages, and we are sending out emails as we speak. So we're just trying to organize everything. It's just been the last few weeks. So please look us up and join the fight.
All right, thank you, Brother Eric Slater. All right, brothers and sisters, moving right along here. Okay, is this the Facebook page? Okay, international campaign to reinstate Chicago bus driver Eric Slater. That's the Facebook page. All right, thank you, sister. Now, brothers and sisters, before I introduce the next speaker, I just wanted to reiterate something, because you're hearing all of these stories from the different speakers about the struggles of the working class. And this is absolutely a working class, a class struggle is what this is. And we have to understand that we are all a part of the same class, which is the working class. This is why we need a political party that looks out for the interests of the working class. A workers' political party. The Democrats and the Republicans, excuse my French, they aren't doing shit for us. Okay, this is why we are always in the streets marching and chanting and hooping and hollering, because we're not getting the resources that we're supposed to get as citizens of this country, supposedly the richest country in the world. And we got people sleeping out on the street, right over the bridge over there. You know, we got people homeless, we got people jobless right now, while this cat wants to come in here and build a playground for the rich. Okay? He wants to build a playground that the majority of the citizens that live in this community can't even afford to go to the game. Okay, what are you gonna have? You gonna have homeless people sleeping outside of the stadium? You know where's the priority here? Okay, is the priority the hungry people living in the street right now, or is it a stadium for the Oakland A's? Okay, especially when the Oakland A's already have a goddamn stadium right out here off of 66th Street. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. It's a rich man's dream. When a rich man has a dream, then your dreams have to go to the side when a rich man has a dream. That's not how this society is supposed to work. How does that work? Okay, when your dreams don't come true unless you're part of the 1%, unless you're a billionaire. Is that how this goes? Okay, so if that's how it goes, then each and every man and woman living in the United States has to be a billionaire. Okay, everything has to be equal. Okay, you can't have billionaires running society. Unfortunately, the Democrats and the Republicans are driven by billionaires and big business. They get paid off. They get what they call it, lobbying. You know, they have the money to go lobby. Okay, and this is why unions are important, because unions can organize people and to make our lobby stronger. So we have to support workers being in unions. These companies that the workers are not unionized, we have to help them become unionized. Okay? We cannot have any discrimination on the job or in these unions. We have to create political forces within unions also, political parties within unions, so that we're all basically in the same union under the same umbrella. That way, the conditions and the wages and the benefits that the ILWU enjoys, every worker should enjoy those conditions and benefits. Okay? Yeah, and you shouldn't have to have people to die so that you can enjoy those benefits. This country is supposed to be built on equality for all. Every man and woman is supposed to be equal. But we know that that's not true. And it's the working man and woman that's going to make that true. Okay? So with that said, the next speaker I want to bring to the microphone is Brother Steve Zeltzer. Just so you brothers and sisters in the ILWU understand, this brother has helped us over the years. Ever since I've been a longshoreman, I've known Brother Steve Zeltzer. He's a part of the Labor Video Project. And every time we call him to come and help us get our message out, he comes running immediately. Okay? So I want you guys to give it up for Brother Steve Zeltzer.
Thank you, Brother Trent. And I think we, as speakers have said, stand on some strong shoulders of the ILWU. The ILWU was built really on the power of the working class. It was built by uniting the entire working class in San Francisco and the Bay Area. The general strike in 1934, after they killed 2 workers, helped organize hundreds of thousands of workers all over the Bay Area. That's why the Bay Area is one of the most organized places in the United States, because of that general strike. And the last general strike we had here was in 1946 in Oakland, where some clerical workers were trying to organize. So I think that today we remember what happened in 1934, but one of the problems is we, as a working class, need to unite nationally and internationally. Why is it that the last general strike was in 1946? Why is that? When we have a racist, bullying, criminal president who's inciting people to murder, to hang people and torture people. That's what I want to know. How can that be allowed? How can that be allowed in this country? To have a president inciting people to murder and hang and torture people. That is what we have. We have a president who is causing murder and mayhem. That's what this president is doing. And the ILWU is almost alone in saying we got to stand up as members, as rank and file members, and as a union to fight that. And the unions in this country have to start fighting back. Fighting back. What does that mean? One of the things it means is when there are Black Man or Lives demonstrations, we need union contingents. We need workers from all over joining those demonstrations. So it's not just youth, because many union members join these demonstrations, but they're not with their union. They go as individuals. That has to change. We as a collective labor movement has to unite on the streets, organized way, showing worker power. Showing worker power. And what we are facing, and this is the interesting thing about this union duster, this racist, John Fisher and his family, who owned the Gap and ODAs, is that they make a business of attacking Black people. They make a business of that. So it's not just the privatization of this port, which would mean the destruction of the ILWU and maritime jobs. They're also in San Francisco, where Doris Fisher, who is the family owner of the Gap, she runs the KIPP Corporation, the KIPP Charter School, and the Rocket Ship School. And they have the audacity, using this Prop 39, to say that they wanted to go to the Malcolm X Middle School and have their own school right alongside that. So imagine that. We have a public school with public teachers and public resources, and they want to set up a private school, the KIPP school, which they run, to bust up the Malcolm X Academy. What does that say about this country, about this family, the Fisher family? That they would attack the Malcolm X Academy, a public school? And there were demonstrations and protests of these students who said, look, we're getting better. Our grades are going up. Why bring in another privately run school to bust up our school? But this is what's happening with privatization in this country. In Oakland, they're closing public schools and opening up charters, run by John Fisher and Zuckerberg and these other billionaires. That's a racist attack. It's profiteering off of public education, and it has to end. We have to end privatization and these attacks on public education. Teachers are being laid off, and I want to talk about the billionaires, because, you know, some people are doing very well in this pandemic. Thank you. Like the pharmaceutical companies. They're doing great. All this money is being going to pharmaceutical companies, and they're going to be charged $3,000 for a vaccine that may or may not work. Who's paying for it? We're paying for it. We're paying for it. We have no public, really, healthcare system, and people are dying because they can't get health care. There are 27 million people in this country who've lost their health care, who've been laid off. We need a national health care for all working people in this country, so that people have health care is a human right. And the thing about it, where are the Democrats? Are they saying that we have to have national health care? This is a national emergency. 27 million people without health care because of the mass depression? That's a desperate situation. There are 46 million people without jobs. We're facing a traumatic situation, because when the unemployment runs out at the end of July, what are these people going to do? How are they going to live? These are our brothers and sisters. How are they going to feed their family? This is what we're talking about. And actually, it comes back to what's going to move this country, because the ILWU learned through a general strike they got a union hiring hall. They got a union hall. And actually, that is the kind of action that's needed now to stop this president, to fight for national health care, to fight for housing for all, and to stop these racist attacks. Because when the workers act collectively, then the capitalists say, uh-oh, we got to make concessions. Then the capitalists say, uh-oh, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because it shows the collective power of working people, and that's really what we need. That's why the ILWU is leading the way in this fight for workers' power and for a wage equality. So thank you, brothers and sisters. Let's take this struggle forward.
Thank you.
Okay, I promise I'm not going to keep you guys here long because I know it's been a while. You ladies are probably tired, feet probably hurting. Just to let you know that the next speaker that I'm going to bring to the mic has a similar story that I have and I share. And I'm not going to delay. I'm going to let him say what he's got to say, and then we're going to press on. Brother Rick Perez.
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank the ILWU for allowing me to participate in this event, and it's you know, we see the injury to one is injury to all, and all you people know, I've said it before. My pain is my son was killed by the Richmond Police Department, PD Perez, you know, like I said, injury to one is injury to all. I know you guys share my pain, but I don't want you to feel my pain because it hurts. You know, every day in our nation is Bloody Thursday. Every day the police are killing somebody and acting with immunity or whatever we call that. It's just ugly. They got away. They tried to get away with Bloody Thursday. They didn't, and we got to stop them now too. We got to stop them from killing all our young black men and brown men and everybody. They got to quit with these guns. They got to quit. You know, we got this defund the police thing going on now, and it is taking root right now. But you know what? It's more because of the COVID, and it's not because they want to defund, but the police are sitting there taking credit for it. Oh yeah, we're allowing the money to go away. They're not allowing it. It ain't there, so they're getting cut, but they're going to still stand up for and act like they did it. That's how fake they are. Yeah, I see like John Fisher here, a man with power and stuff. And it just reminds me of his abuse of his power. And then you have these police chiefs out there that continually justify these murders of people on the streets. And I saw this man out here had his, he has it turned around now, but it says jail killer cops. And that's what I'd like to see happen is cops held accountable. I'd like to see the good cops, the so-called good cops, stand up against the bad cops who are out there shaming the whole damn police force. Recently, on KPFA radio, they had a show on about Tucson, Arizona, and a man who died in custody. They had no clue that that same police chief was chief in Richmond when my son was killed. And he took off and ran when it got difficult for him. My son was killed, and also the sex scandal that was here in Oakland and in Richmond. So it got tough, so he cut and run. So now it came out that he's covering up another murder in Tucson, Arizona. So I made the radio host aware of what's going on. And boy, oh boy, there's been 3 shows on it, and he's running all over the place. They had me on there the very next day. They've had Gerald Smith from the Oscar Grant Committee on just the other day. And we're going to expose these cops and these police chiefs for their unaccountability for what their officers are doing. So, like I said, injury to one is injury to all. We're all being injured by these damn bad police. We're all being injured by these damn rich billionaires. We're all in the same boat. thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for, please, let's vote these cops out. Oh, one more thing. We all know what Trump says about this police and the military. Oh, they got to be the best things in the world. I also want you to know, well, we all know he's wrong, but I also want you to know Joe Biden is the one who wrote the Police Officers' Bill of Rights. Yeah. So these Republicans and Democrats ain't doing a damn thing for us. We got to stop this right now. So, there is so much more to say, but I'll relinquish the mic for now.